Modern Digital, we help businesses navigate the digital landscape. We recognize that it is crazy out there. So many channels, so many platforms, so many things to think about while managing the day to day operations of your business. We provide you with actionable solutions to market your business online and achieve your business goals. Hello, and welcome to the Top 7 Digital Marketing Trends at 7 p.m. I am Tamara Monawi, founder of Monavan Digital Marketing Solutions, and you heard it. We help businesses navigate the digital landscape. I am so excited to be here this Thursday. I'm excited to be here each and every Thursday because, as you know, we are working with 4 businesses and we are giving them each a digital marketing subject matter experts. I don't know what's happening with my words tonight. Digital marketing subject matter experts to help them achieve their business goals, right? So what does that mean? They meet with subject matter experts every week in different areas of digital marketing, branding, target audience and pricing, assessing their online presence, SEO, Pinterest, and there's so much more. And they get to meet with these folks one-on-one and learn about how they can leverage all of digital marketing, all the right parts to really achieve their business goals. You know why we're doing this? Because sometimes digital marketing can be confusing, right? We think about likes and we think about follows when we hear marketing, but what we're doing is we're taking people way beyond the likes, right? We like to go beyond the likes and help people achieve their business goals through digital marketing. So that's what this show is about. So tonight, is so exciting because we have with us the expert tonight is Maria Ransome. She is awesome. Let's just say she is a branding design expert. She's so creative, so many creative elements. And she worked with the businesses this week to really move through that design, connecting the messaging. I don't know if you saw episode number 1 with Jamila, where she worked through their branding, their messages. Well, Maria and Jamila, they're like the awesome team. They get together and they put the design, the branding, and they bring it all home together. Okay. These two are amazing. And so they got an opportunity to work with Maria this week and really hone in on that branding, that messaging, And then last week, of course, they worked with Michelle around target audience and pricing. So all this information led to the ideal design, the perfect message, all the things that drive people from the point of being a stranger and then moving them to the point of becoming a client or becoming a customer of these brands. So that is what we're doing here on this show. So again, I am so excited that we're doing this every week because every week we see these businesses grow, right? Last week, they moved leaps and bounds. So there's growth every week from meeting with these experts. So I cannot wait to hear what happened this week. And so right now we're going to bring Maria to the stage, and Maria and I are going to, we're going to chit chat a little bit about her. Y'all are going to love Maria. Okay. She joins us on Clubhouse all the time. She is hilarious. Maria, how are you today, Maria? How is everything?
I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me and allowing me to be part of this. This is my first time doing it, and I had a lot of fun working with the businesses.
Absolutely. You know what? You are so good at what you do. I've seen the work that you do. You've done some work with Monavan as well. And the things that you bring to the table, just your design skill set, the aesthetic, just the education itself. I mean, it's always something that is really, really great. So tell people who you are, what you do. Tell them all the things that you do.
Okay, well, I'm a graphic designer and visual artist, and I help businesses put themselves up properly from a visual standpoint and make sure that they are visually communicating their messaging properly, whether it's through your website, through your social media designs, or your logo.
Awesome. So what was it like working with these businesses? Because they're so different, right?
Yeah. I was going to say I really enjoy the diversity. So getting to know a little bit about each business owner and what they're doing, I quite enjoyed that. And one thing that I noticed is each business had a different aspect of design that they maybe needed to touch on or work on. So it wasn't really repetitive for me going through each business. It was a new experience for each one.
Absolutely. So I know you only got to meet with three of the businesses. You didn't get to meet with Uche, but you're
Yeah,
meeting with him next week. I know
yeah,
Uche's had some technical difficulties. He is in Nigeria, and I think they've been without power for like 4 days now. So he is running a charity. There's so many things that we need, obstacles that we need to move around. But you know what? We're behind the scenes working with him, and you'll get with him next week, and we'll definitely give you guys an update on what's happening with Uche. But you got to meet with three of the other businesses and kind of really work through the process. So I'm excited to bring Jamie from Eco Crates to the stage. Jamie, how are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Hello,
So hi
hello,
Maria. Hi
Hi,
Tamara.
Jenny.
hello.
I'm Jamie Snell. For those of you that haven't seen me before, I'm Jamie Snell with Eco Crates of America. I'm the founder of a luxury subscription brand for clean homes, helping families maintain and create homes free of toxic chemicals.
Awesome, awesome. So, Jamie, talk a little bit about what it was like meeting with Maria. Now, I'm sure you had some design ideas before, you have a website, you have a logo, but when you met with Maria, how did it shift your perspective around design?
So I had a lot of fun with Maria's assignment and the conversation that her and I had. It really got the creative wheels turning for me. When I first created Eco Crates of America, before I even launched, one of the important things for me was to look like I knew what I was doing, even if I didn't. So I hired someone to do my website and to help me with my branding and my logo and my colors and everything. I had some feedback based on vision boards, things that I naturally gravitated to, that I envisioned for the brand, but it wasn't like I did it myself. So, but I did like the end result. We went back and forth. So fast forward now, we're I'm 6 months post launch, and Maria really helped me see not only how I could fine tune what was already created for me, but how I could use it to my advantage. She actually just put stuff in front of me, my own work in front of me, and asked me like the feelings that it elicited. And I realized right away, like a light bulb went off, that the feeling I got is not the feeling that I want my clients to have. And
Right.
so she walked me through the steps on how to tweak what I already have working, to simplify it and to give it that calm, serene, tranquil feeling that I'm going for with Eco Crates of America.
Oh, Maria, talk about what it was like working with Jamie.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for those kind words, Jamie. I feel like we bonded immediately. She was wearing some sweats, and I was like, yes, I like that. I get that. Um, yeah, Jamie, because she had previously worked with a designer, she had at least a good starting point. It wasn't starting from scratch. Besides her logo, she already had a good brand palette going on. She had her fonts going on. It really was, as she said, just tweaking and refining. And yeah, one of the things that I noticed was a disconnect between the visual and the message and the feeling that she wanted people to have. So I literally asked her, think about it. Think of your brand as a person and think of how you want people to feel when they interact with you. You then take those words and see how we could visually represent it. So, like some of the words were calm, I think, relief, airy, relaxed, and just changing simple design elements can help, bring that about. Simple thing like using thinner lines,
Right.
making design less cluttered. So that's what we worked on. And she was very good at, doing what I told her to do. Very eager, and I love
The feedback. I heard you guys had a lot of banter back and forth, some exchanges.
it.
That's awesome. So that's really good. I think really being able to bring the message home with the design, all the parts that are part of that customer journey is really important because it is about what they feel when they get to your site. That's your home. You want them to feel welcome. You want them to come through the door. So what are the things you're prepared to do to make that happen? So Jamie, have you already started making those changes?
Oh, well, so I want to say absolutely, because I do have a whole new branding board that has been put together. I've yet to get into the creation part of it. So using the new elements, I've been working hard getting that baseline together. So as the month progresses, I'll get back in and start designing some of my messaging for posts and things, as well as updating my emails.
Awesome. Awesome. So this sounds like it was a success.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, Jamie, I am so excited to see what comes next. I'm excited to see it all come together, right? Because I know once it all comes together, the messaging, the target audience, the branding, and we start moving people down those funnels, it's really going to be changing. So let's jump over to the comments. Maria is awesome. Ayana says she's excited for the episode. Michelle's like, hey, hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining us. Ayana's here. Michelle, Maria gets inside your head and somehow pulls out the visual you've always wanted. And she's amazing. And that is so true. She does get in your head. I got a sneak peek of that branding board. Amazing job, Maria. Okay, so Chef is in the building and Chef got a sneak peek of the branding board. So excited about that. I think thinking about your brand, thinking about the board, the colors, everything makes such a world of difference. So Jamie, we cannot wait to see what you do with this information, how you line it up, because of course there's going to be a show and tell. And next week I'm excited because I am working with you next week. We're doing your online assessment. That's going to be the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for joining us this week.
Thank you. It was wonderful. I had a great time. I look forward to working with you soon.
All right. Cool. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It was lovely meeting you.
You too.
Perfect, ladies. Take care. All right. So Maria, you know what? So here's what I did. I was actually supposed to have you do your top 7 before I brought Jamie to the stage. I was so excited about design because, back in the day, I used to be a designer. So you're here and I'm like, I think I might be a little bit nervous. I just completely blanked and I was like, let's go. So, but this is live. So we get to say those things, sometimes everything doesn't go according to plan. So we just get to pivot and go back to that. So you know what, Maria, let's run through your top 7 because I know everybody wants to check out this top 7. Let's go for it.
Right. Yeah. So the first one is definitely have a clear idea of how you want your customers to feel when interacting with your brand and design with your target audience in mind. So design is something that you need to do after you have this groundwork done, after you've done your messaging, your tone of voice, defining your target audience, because you're speaking to them, not to yourself. And the second one is have a visual mood or inspiration board to help guide your design process for any design project. It's kind of easy to go astray when designing. So having that mood board or inspiration board acts as a point of focus for you. And then the third one is be consistent in your design. Consistency builds trust and recognition. I'm sure everyone wants to have a brand that can be internationally recognized, or they just see you and know it's you. It's hard to do that when you keep switching it up every week. Every post is a different color palette or a different design completely. And then the fourth one is be selective with your imagery. Make sure it represents your brand's tone of voice and messaging, which brings me back to the first point. You have to know that groundwork before, and then you pick images to suit. Anytime you're looking at imagery, always ask yourself, one, how is my target audience going to react to this? How is it going to make them feel? Is it going to evoke the feelings that I want them to? Then the fifth one is choose colors that make the most sense for your brand and have a balanced color palette. Color psychology is a thing. Different colors evoke different emotions. Yellow is synonymous with happiness. A lot of restaurant industries use red because it indicates hunger, or some people use red to indicate passion. So pick colors that make sense for your brand. And then don't go crazy with the brand palette. So have a balanced color palette. Number 6, choose 2 to 3 key fonts for your brand. Same with the colors. You don't want to go crazy. It's best to have 2 to 3 fonts so your work doesn't look different every single time. And then number 7 is put all your design assets into a lovely brand guide. This will be useful for anyone who has to do design work for your brand, and even for you to, again, just keep you on point and keep you on focus as you design. So those are the 7 tips.
Oh, those are 7. I like those 7 tips. So Maria, as you're working with clients, tell me one of the main challenges you find as you're working with clients.
I think that the biggest challenge comes when there is a lack of communication. If I'm talking about from a client perspective, sometimes it's that they don't know what they want. And if you don't know what you want, it means you haven't really done the groundwork before you decided you're ready to design. I see a lot of people, especially doing their logo, without really having several clear things in mind and picking colors without having things in mind. So that's the problem that they come to me with. And then through communication, we could fix that. Like proper communication, talking it out. I will ask a ton of questions. As Michelle said, I like to get in your head. So we can figure out what you really want, what it is you really want to see.
Oh, awesome, awesome. All right, so let's go to the comments. What we have going here. All right, so Chef is saying exactly. She was about to say, "Where's the top 7?" Taking notes, and she's like, "Horns for the 7 tips." Love these tips. She's taking notes as well. So you have folks in here taking notes, okay, for the top 7. Somebody has to keep me in line. How dare me get the top 7? Live shows, guys, stuff happens. All right. Well, I'm excited to bring Michelle to the stage. I know you met with Michelle this week. Michelle, how are you? Welcome, welcome. How are things with you this week?
Oh, things have been very busy, but they have been great. Well, first, let me say, Miss Tamara, I love that neck, your neck accessory. Like I want that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, Michelle, introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, and then let's jump into some questions.
Absolutely. So, hi everyone. My name is Michelle Singh. I am a school achievement strategist, and I work with schools K through 12th grade teachers on professional development. And my focus is to help them build relationships that are quality with their students, and also to bridge the cultural gaps that they have with their students of color, those Black and brown kids that look like you and me.
Mhm. So, Michelle, that sounds like some of that messaging you got. I'm hearing that messaging.
You saw the little pause there while I got my thoughts together.
I saw it. You know what I mean? But you're working the messaging, and it's always good to see when you're working the messaging, right? Eventually, it'll roll off your tongue, but it's great to hear, right? So talk a little bit about working with Maria and putting your the ideas that you have. Like I'm sure she tested them all. So what was that for you?
Well, so as I'm going through this process with the different experts, like I'm finding, themes that stand out for each person that I've worked with, right? And so this week with Maria took me to school. So Maria really helped me to understand just, how social media works and the different platforms and how you're supposed to approach your posts and the content that you share on the different platforms. So that was the first thing. That was very eye-opening for me, because, what I was doing was just kind of using the Facebook business platform to post on Instagram, the same thing I was posting on Facebook. And so I'm like, okay, this is easy. But Maria, she kind of broke it down and gave me a lot of great feedback and input as to what's supposed to go on Instagram, what kinds of things to go on Instagram, what kinds of things goes on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. I can talk more specifically about those, but really it was very insightful. So I really got lots of good information, lots of good feedback. And what I loved about Maria is that she gave me specific examples, and she showed me, she showed those examples to me, shared her screen. She did her homework as well. So, she was able to speak to me because she knew what my brand was, right? One of the things that she said to me, like she kind of put something together that I didn't really put together myself, but my logo and my brand colors, it's very colorful. And she was like, I get that you have the rainbow of colors and that represents diversity. And I was like, oh my gosh, you hit the nail on the head. I never put those two things together, but that's exactly what what I do. It's all about diversity, right? And then we talked about like the different colors and, because I have so many colors, how to approach it, on social media, how to kind of focus on the primary colors or having primary colors and then using the secondary colors and blending the two so that when people see my brand, they'll know it's me and it's not just a bunch of different colors being posted at different times. We talked about my website, and she gave me some tips on my website. We also talked about some of the things on my website, like my books and the alignment of the books with the brand colors. And I mean, there was just so much. One thing that I also kind of went ahead and kind of took a deep dive in was one of the examples that Maria talked about was Slack. Slack also has a rainbow of colors. So we were able to look at their branding guidelines and look at how, they structured their color scheme with their posts on their Instagram. And she took a look at my branding guidelines and told me what was missing. So Maria, just so you know, I've already put in a revision for that. So I'm gonna be adding that photography piece to my brand guidelines. I've already gone on Canva and started looking at designs to, that mesh with what you were saying with the blending of the colors. So I was really excited about this week and the work, that this part of it entails.
So good. And you know what? I have to put up I know last week we asked for the URLs. So definitely I'm putting up your URL now. So if you want to check out Michelle's website so you can see as the transition happens, the changes that she's going to make. Here it is. I'll put Jamie's up shortly, but Michelle, that's such good. Oh, so good. You got a lot out of this.
I did. Like I said, very insightful, very eye-opening. And I had fun. I had fun with it.
Right. Maria.
I'm so happy that you got so much out of it. But yeah, one of the things with Michelle, and Michelle is what I would call a special case, because when I talk about brand palettes, I'm always like, tone it down to a few colors. Sometimes I literally say you don't want the whole rainbow in there. But when it came to Michelle, her logo was the rainbow. And I was ready to say, this is not a good logo, until I was like, wait, based on what her brand is, based on what rainbow represents, it makes sense to keep it. So instead of saying change this, I was like, we're going to work with it. We just have to work on how we're going to be consistent with it, how you can still have that consistency so people can recognize you. And yeah, I use Slack as an example because they also have a ton of colors. So it was good for her to see that visual so she can understand where I was coming from. And I'm very excited to see you apply it.
So good. So Michelle, what is going forward, these lessons that you've learned from Maria, how do you take them forward as you're thinking about new elements for your brands, right? Because now it's like, now you have this, you can't unlearn what she taught you, right? So you'll be thinking about this stuff as you develop new materials, right? Your presentations, there's so many other things that you may want to consider as well too.
Oh, absolutely. So right now I am getting ready to do a 30-day live on Facebook and YouTube for my program, right? That's going to be launching soon. And so all of the graphics for that, all of the social media graphics, of course, I'm going to take everything that Maria's taught me and apply it to designing the social media graphics, creating the Facebook group page for that. That's why I was working on the header. And also in the future, I plan on also creating more online programs for educators. And so that design is going to go into the videos and the PowerPoints and the workbook pages that I create for that. So there is alignment across the board. So whenever a teacher or administrator participates in one of my programs, they see that consistent branding throughout. It's not just, okay, this one is yellow, this one is green, this one is pink, but they see that color scheme where it's a blend of the colors. The primary color, of course, being blue.
Love that. I love that. Maria, I love that you were able to really pull out that diversity, right? That's like I don't know, like wine, like almost like you see it and you taste it and you're like, there you go. That's diversity. The fact that you're able to call that out is like mind blowing. So talk about that a little bit, just kind of going through. You said you were thinking about, hey, you seeing it first. You're like, that's a lot of colors. It's not what you would recommend, but you then had to take a step back and just being able to kind of spend time. What's your process like spending time going through these profiles for these businesses to even get to that place? Because I mean, to jump from there to there is really phenomenal.
I think the first thing I always look at is the logo specifically, because to me, a good logo has meaning. You don't want to design something without meaning. Everything design-wise has to be intentional. So before I actually did the research, I was like, these colors, this is the rainbow. It's not going to cut it. But as I started to understand her brand and understand the whole building relationships, understand, the diversity, because you're targeting certain children, right? I was like, this actually makes sense. You're bringing everybody together. You're building a relationship between everybody. And I think visually the rainbow is a good way to do that, because it's a diversity of colors, basically. So
Right.
it's the same thing. Um, when it comes to my process, it's really just about breaking things down and trying to understand why we are doing certain things, why they chose certain things. If I think it makes sense, I will tell them keep it. If I don't think it makes sense, if I think it's there for no reason, it has no real meaning or value, I would say take it out. So
Right.
yeah.
And how does this translate to the customer, right? Because so we're talking about all these design elements, and I know folks are probably like, okay, cool, that's a lot. How do you see this translating to the customer?
So in terms of her color scheme, I think that is going to be fun and playful, right? In terms of, you're dealing with students, you're dealing with kids. But I think a big thing of what's going to translate to the customer for her is actually the imagery. Because we did speak a lot about the kind of imagery she is to be using. You want to always show teachers interacting with students. You want engagement going on. You want to stay away from boring, static classroom images, because that doesn't translate the feeling that you want after having done her services. After doing her services, you wanna be engaged with the students. So we spoke a lot about the kind of imagery she should use, and I think that is going to translate. And then we also spoke about how are you packaging that information. So one of the things we talked about was the different platforms and how design-wise it could translate. One thing that I noticed with her is she was giving great information, but the chance of somebody reading it is very, very unlikely, because it was so text heavy. And we know that we go on Instagram to watch pretty pictures, So we spoke about how you're going to package that, breaking that text down, putting more imagery, making it more fun to look at. And I think that is what's going to attract her target audience.
Woo! I feel like I need some horns.
And I want to add to, a part of this process, and with Maria going through those things, she made me think about my business personality, and she got it. Like, I was trying to explain, like, the three adjectives, the three things that my business personality is. And I'm like, I want to be an authority, but I don't want to be authoritative. And she totally got that. And I was like, I don't know if that makes sense. And she was like, yes, I get it. I understand.
Yeah,
And
right.
So that's gonna be part, that's gonna translate through the imagery that I include in the posts that I create. And just so you know, Maria, I actually went through a part of the photography branding guidelines. I found 100 pictures on Canva that represents what we talked about with the enthusiasm, the engagement, the classroom, the black and brown, the diversity. 100.
And I know Maria is the Canva queen, right? So Maria loves Canva. So did she give you, how did you find these 100? Did you search terms? How did you find them?
Yeah, I just use search terms. Some of them I'd used before. I basically search for, like, Black students, Black teachers, happy students, and just kind of picked and chosen through those. Look for the diversity in those students reading, students thinking, just looking at the different types of students and just picking the ones that align best with my brand personality, my business personality.
I love that. I love that. So, Maria, talk a little bit about that, the business personality, right? Because that's different from your regular personality.
Yes. So one thing that I think I made everybody do it. Of course, it depended on if I thought you needed it or not. Is you want to be able to visually represent your personality and visually represent how you want customers to feel. But before you do that, you have to actually know what the personality is. And the personality is not necessarily the same as the messaging. It's more your tone of voice. Like, how when you speak to someone, you act a certain way, you present yourself a certain way. In real life, you have to have that for your business. So I literally tell people, think of your business as a person. What does that person look like? And I try not to be vague. So I normally say, give me 3 adjectives. How would you describe that person? Is she the sassy best friend? Is she the authoritative leader? Is she pushy? Is she bossy? And you could think of different brands and how they interact, and how they present themselves. So that is very important because it does shape your visuals. You wouldn't think it does, but it does, because once you know those things, you kind of know what imagery you're looking for, what kind of illustration style you're going after. Some brands are super serious, while others are fun and playful. So it all depends on the personality.
Oh gosh, you ladies are making it happen here tonight. All right, we got some comments. What are we saying? What are we saying? There is a all right, so I'm getting compliments. I love compliments. Brand messaging on point, Michelle. Can't wait to see the LCT changes, Michelle. What else do we have here? We're getting horns. I don't know if those are horns or fishes. Doing the work works. Here we go with the 3-word description. It works. There's always some type of 3-word description, some which way, somehow. I'm so glad. So, Michelle, you really seem to get a lot out of this, and I'm excited. I feel like, last week you talked about each week it's like a new level, another brick added to the house. Is this another brick added to the house as well?
Listen, it's building. That foundation is being laid, and there's so much that's going to be added to it.
Yes. I look forward to next week when we kind of get some time together and we start doing assessments and all that stuff. That's when we start digging into the numbers or setting that up. So that's going to be exciting as well. So, but I'm excited you guys got to go through this process with Maria and really understand the importance of design and, just really how it matters, and it connects to what you worked with Jamila on, connects back to that messaging. So key. And you got a lot from it. I'm excited to see where things go. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Maria.
It was lovely meeting you, Michelle.
Lovely meeting you too. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Maria, you are making people happy over here in these digital streets. Everything that you are bringing to the table, so good.
Well,
so good.
To hear. I'm really happy to hear that. I think what was important for me is to have at least examples of some kind when speaking to people, because I know that I may have it in my head, and design is so vague that I didn't want any miscommunication. I was like, let me see if I could get examples if necessary.
Right. So Maria, talk a little bit about how long have you been doing design work? How long have you been really focused on this career? And I know you've shifted a little bit more to really connect the branding, the design, the funnels, all those things together.
Yeah. I would say that I've been designing for about 2.5, almost 3 years. And well, I've always been a creative anyway, because, I did do fashion design and I've been painting for years. So it's been a long build up. Everything I've done through painting, through studying fashion design, I learned things that ultimately helped me with actual design. And studying business, because I do have a degree in entrepreneurial management, helped me. But studying business helped me better understand how design can actually communicate and help shape your bottom line.
Yeah, I love that, because I think my story is a little bit different, right? So I have a degree in economics, and then I went back to school and did a certificate program in graphic design, multimedia design. So I kind of backed into it. I'm not necessarily an artist, but I understand design, how it works, what doesn't work. And really and truly, that is one of the foundations of digital marketing, right? So being able to pull that together, because design happens in every brochure, in your website, in everything that you're doing, right? And you really want to make sure that there is a cohesive brand, that people see things and they're able to connect the dots. Because as you move them through that customer journey, they must be able to connect the dots. Or if not, that know, like, trust factor we talk about all the time is not there, right? So I think it's so important. So I'm thankful, but that business side really kind of helps to, cut through some of the maybe in the clouds creative elements, just a little bit, kind of brings you back down here to earth. You're like, okay, all right, let's get out of the clouds.
I think people often forget that it's not about what you like, it's about your target audience. So I think Kim Neek, which is next, we kind of spoke about that in terms of think about your target audience, what they would like, what will speak to them.
100%, right? Because I think many people approach design from that standpoint, right? And none of that really matters. What you like, if you are not your target audience, it really doesn't matter. So I think that's such a great message to give to folks as you're approaching design, really understanding that target audience ahead of time, right? And that's where we had Michelle last week help these businesses refine and define those target audiences. So the messaging piece from Jamila to last week to this week, that's all they had all that information to really help you really get them to that place where they were able to line up those design elements. So oh, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. So I'm excited to bring Kim Neek to the stage. Wait, Chef is here and she's working on her brand's personality now. Chef is doing the homework. We love that. We have to get
Chef is going to be fun,
of course, she is, right? I feel like we should party with her. We should definitely party with her. So we're going to bring Kim Neek to the stage. Hey, Kim Neek, how are you?
Good. How are you? Peace and love.
Love. You know what? Introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are. Tell them about your brands.
Well, my name is Kim Neek, and I'm the creator of RaiseAVibration.com, which is a holistic website for selling. It's a holistic website for uplifting the mind, body, and soul. And I sell self-empowering items like crystals, incense, candles, meditation tools, and so much more. And my website is really ideal for anyone who is interested in elevating their energy, who believes in the law of attraction, and wants to connect with their higher source. So that's what my website's all about, and that's what it is.
Girl, you working out that messaging?
Yeah.
Everybody's out here. Do you hear them in these streets working out the messaging? Because I'm like, I didn't hear that last week, but I like that, right? If you want to find your higher source, I like it. Are you practicing in the mirror?
Yeah, I am.
So, Kim Neek, talk a little bit about what it was like working with Maria this week.
Well, I would say that it was very refreshing. It was probably one of my favorite experiences so far because it's the visual part of it, of course. And she definitely knows what she's talking about. And she's very informative, very educational. And I would say from my experience, what I've gained from it was, for one thing, on my website, I was sticking to just 2 colors. And she opened me up to see that I needed to expand a little more. I have my website is basically an uplifting website. So when you come, you're supposed to feel uplifted. But then I felt like I was kind of stuck. I wasn't expanding outside of those colors. And she gave me some really great advice. She said, what you need to do before you do anything else is do a mood board. And I feel like by doing that mood board, it helped me to really define the personality of my business more, because then I had to go and actually choose colors. I looked around at different websites. I tried to see how she showed me some examples of a collection of colors that you could use. You don't have to just stick with 2 colors. You could, but they have to all coordinate together, and it all have to have the same message or the same mood to it. So that was the challenge. So I went and I started looking for different colors, putting them together. Then on top of that, looking at imagery that also, invoke that mood or that feeling that I want my customers to feel when they come to the website and to know what my website is about. So on top of that, what I loved about it is because I'm so all over the place when it comes to my colors. Like I love all different kinds of colors. So at any time I could try this color, try that color. But what she made me realize is that even though I did understand the principle of just keeping your logo the same, but also the amount of colors you're using, you have to stick to a certain palette because that gives you the feeling of a brand. That's so important. Like that is a very important part of it. And for me, I'll be like, oh, today I'll use this color, tomorrow I'll use that, which is not going to work. So now, like, I haven't really been doing the social media part, but I feel like because of that information, learning that, I now know that I could make even my Instagram page or my Facebook page have a cohesive feeling where it would actually look like the same brand is being translated across all of my platforms. So I actually have a color palette that I'm sticking to, and I'm going to use that across the board. So that was like phenomenal information. And the other thing I really took away from it was I was struggling with, I wanted to have a diverse website where I have like a diverse, customer base. So I didn't want to lock anyone out of it. So I was scared to use images of people. So I asked her, what do you think? Should I use images of people? And she was like, of course you should use people in different, backgrounds and everything. And that would help. But also it should be images of people doing things and, get some models doing things that actually have the message that I'm trying to send. So I've been working on all of my visuals more, like looking at it more. So I thought I had it in the bag, but I guess I
didn't. Maybe you had some things in the bag.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's what this is about, right? So it's like one of those things where all of a sudden you get all this information and you're like, wait a second, I now completely understand it. And I love the idea of using images. And I know sometimes that can be challenging as well, right? It's one of those things you're like, I don't want to lock anyone out. How do I do that effectively? So Maria, talk about the lessons you went through with Kimnique. There's so much here.
Yeah. I mean, first, I want to say that Kimnique had such a calming presence. I was like, yes, this is how she wants people to feel when, they're buying things. Like, I think same as I did for Jamie and Michelle, we kind of spoke about, how it is that you want people to feel when they go on your website, when they go on your page. And it was this uplifting, calming, peace, serenity kind of vibe. And it was about translating that. So yes, Kimnique definitely needed to expand her colors some more. I felt like she only had 2, which was not enough to play with. You could feel locked in. And I was really, really happy that we got to the point where she understood, yes, more colors is nice, but not the entire rainbow. So that's Michelle's case. Michelle is where it's okay.
Michelle's rainbow, right? Everybody doesn't need the whole rainbow.
So I'm really happy that she got that. I think what was most useful for her, which she said was the concept of the mood board. What I noticed is some of the other businesses already had a clear, defined brand guide. Kimnique is now building hers. So the mood board is what will help focus you as you build it. So you're not all over the place. There is a concentrated focus. And when it comes to the imagery, I love imagery. And you use imagery to tell stories. You use imagery to sell. So I do understand that there's a fear of, I don't want to lock a certain group out. But sometimes it's not about the specific person being represented in the photo. Sometimes it's about what they're doing and what feeling evoke that you get from that photo. Like, does it make you feel a certain way? Does it kind of make you go, I want to feel like that, or I want to be like what they are doing? And that's what we kind of go for when it comes to the imagery. I always say have imagery because it tells a story. Like, messaging is great and messaging can be very, very strong, but messaging plus imagery is a winning combo, especially if you can show a transformation happening, because your brain almost makes up the story for you. It's like, wait, if I buy this product, am I going to feel like them? Like, is that what's going to happen? So yeah.
100%. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. That's amazing. I want to feel like that.
Yes. Spending thousands of dollars on photography campaigns. There's a reason. So always have imagery. Just take your time, kind of make sure the imagery is in alignment with your brand messaging, with the personality, with the tone of voice, and then go forth and look for your images. Yeah.
So Kim, did you find your images already? Are you still searching for your images?
I did find a few that I actually uploaded today. Just looking at different banners. I have like this, the message behind it. Like I look at the image and I'm like, okay, what do I feel when I look at this image? And does this work? And I did, but I looked through hundreds of pictures. So I have to be careful with my time management in that area. But I think as time goes on, I'll get better at just knowing, okay, this is perfect. So it's just a process, but yeah, I have been looking at that as well, and it's definitely it's brought my website to life. So I'm super excited. I'm so glad for the advice that I got from there.
Awesome. And you talked a little bit about social media, and not you haven't delved there yet, but you're looking to step out into social media. So those design elements, the posts that you're thinking about, that content creation, right? Using this information to really help inform that now.
Yes. What I liked is that I could use these colors, because one thing I noticed is like, I'll go to an Instagram page and I notice that brands, you will go on their page and it just looks so seamless. It just looked like everything was so cohesive. And I didn't really quite understand how they did that so effectively. Cause me, I'm just kind of like always, I'm a creative person. So I just like all over the place. I like this, I like that, I like this. But by sticking to the same color palette, I know that like when I do like my messages, or whenever I'm giving a message for the day, or putting out a product or whatever, that I'm going to make sure I stick to the same color palette, so that when you come to my Instagram or you come to Facebook, you're going to feel that good energy that you feel at my website. It's going to translate across. So I want to also work on just like scheduling out all of my posts as well, so I can go and make a design and feel confident and know as it's coming out that it's all going to work together. So I'm like, really, it was profound. Like it made a big difference in my structure.
Like Maria, it was profound.
It was profound.
Okay, let me give you a round of applause, Maria.
Yes.
I'm sure this has to feel really good, just hearing that you were able to give these businesses exactly what they needed.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I think it was so important for me to actually make an impact and kind of find advice that was useful to them. I really, really wanted to try and not give fluff advice, but things that they can apply and would be specific to them. So although I have my 7 tips, and even maybe in hearing everyone talk, you may realize that one brand or one business focused on one tip more than the other, because that's where the problem area was, or that's what could have been built out some more. So I'm really happy that you guys learned something from it.
All right. So let's jump into the comments and see what they're saying here. Oh, they're giving the website, which is awesome. We want that. Loving the brand message. Get it. And you know what, Kim, again, loving that brand message, Kimnique. So people are liking that you're honing in on the message, and now you're honing in on the look and feel, which is so amazing, because those things really connect. Last week we talked about target audience. So right now, I mean, you're almost off to the races.
Yes. Thanks to you guys.
There's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to come, but
I know.
There's a lot more to come. So, but these 3 weeks, you know what I mean? So you're in week number 3. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like, dang, I wish it was more hours in the day. But no, I'm really, really excited, and just still absorbing and taking it all in, and just like, going to the drawing board, and it just feels good. I really feel confident. I feel confident, and I feel that it's gonna all just come together so much better. And I feel like I'm just won the lottery. So Yeah, this is awesome.
Winning the lottery. I
Yes,
love
it
that.
feels like that. It definitely does. To see your
That is
dream come to life.
awesome. That's a good feeling. We like that you feel like you won the lottery.
Yes.
So, but Kim, I really appreciate, thank you for being open to the process, right? Because I know this can all be daunting and you know what I mean? There's a lot every week. So thank you for being open to the process and going through it. And thank you for working with Maria. Maria, Kim's out of here.
It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very happy that you're making progress.
Thank you. Thank you.
Such
And
a
to you
calming
too.
energy that you bring to the stage. You
Yes,
have to go like namaste when you come here.
Namaste.
Namaste, Kim.
Girl.
Take it easy. Have a great one.
You too.
Oh man, the feedback so good, so good. And you know what? I didn't get a chance to put Jamie's website up, so I definitely want to put Jamie's website up, so give her some so people could check her website out as well. I know these businesses are in the process of making these changes. The information you gave them was so profound, so good, so detailed, and I really appreciate the fact that you spent time really getting to know the businesses, taking the time to bond with them and this, understand their brands so that you could give them the best possible information. So this was really, really a lot of fun. So of course, we always love the top 7, just like we do on Clubhouse, because for those of you that don't know, if you don't know, we do Clubhouse 7 a.m. every morning between Monday and Friday at 7 a.m. We are there talking top 7 digital marketing trends at 7 a.m. So we bring experts to the stage. They present their top 7 and we do a recap at the end. So if you like to join us, you can definitely join us there. It's a lot of fun. Businesses are killing the game. Our community is amazing, amazing, amazing. And Maria shows up there every once in a while. So Maria, just like the top 7 at 7, you have to recap those 7 points because the people were going to bring me down because I almost didn't have you do the top 7. So I'm like, give the people what they want. Here you go.
Cool. So we're back with the top 7. So the first tip is have a clear idea of how you want your customers to feel when interacting with your brand and design with your target audience in mind. And of course, messaging is going to help with that. Target audience is going to help with that. Establishing your brand's personality and tone of voice will help with that. And the second thing is to have a visual mood or inspiration board to help guide your design process for any project. It's almost like steps. After you have the verbal thing down, you can then put together, it will guide your mood board and your inspiration board. And you can even put the words on the inspiration board. I do that sometimes. And then you want to be consistent in your design. Consistency builds trust and recognition. So don't switch it up every single post, every single week. People will think you're crazy and they're not going to remember you. You have to know who you are in order for other people to know who you are. Number 4, be selective with your imagery. So you want to make sure that the imagery you pick, it tells a story and it represents your brand's tone of voice and messaging. Take your time, look through the imagery, and you could always ask yourself, does this resonate with my target audience? Does this translate the feeling that I want it to feel? You can look at it and ask yourself, how does this make me feel? What feelings am I getting from this? Even your own Instagram page. Look at your Instagram page, ask yourself, how is this making me feel? Am I getting the messaging that I want to get? Right? Number 5, choose colors that make the most sense for your brand and have a balanced color palette. And it, again, goes back to having that groundwork before. You will know exactly what it is you want to communicate, and you can play around, go do some research, and find the colors that give off that vibe. Certain industries use certain colors, and yeah, you want to make sure to do that and have a balanced color palette. Unless you are Michelle, unless you are LCC e-learning, or unless your brand requires using the rainbow, you want to narrow down a color palette. And you want to have primary colors. You want to break it down into primary colors, secondary colors, and your background or neutral colors. Number 6, choose 2 to 3 key fonts for your brand. And similar to the color palette and colors in general, different fonts evoke different meanings. So again, do some research and even ask yourself, how does this font make me feel? Some fonts are more fitting for certain industries. For example, if you are, say, a wedding photographer, a calligraphy font may be nice. It may look very, very elegant, give off a romantic vibe, but that may not be the same kind of feeling as a more handwritten font, which you can use for a very playful brand. So you want to do some research into your fonts and pick 2 or 3. Number 7, put all your design assets into a brand guide. Your brand guide is like your brand Bible. You can even put the messaging that you get from Jamila and a bit of your target audience in there as well. It is what is useful for anyone who has to do design work for your brand, and it's good for you to have as well as a focal point. If ever you're unsure about something, you know that you can go to your brand guide and get it. And those are the 7 tips.
Oh, those are seven amazing tips. Maria, this was good stuff. We had so much fun with you today.
Thank you.
They should take before and after screenshots. Yes, they should. Absolutely. Business before and after. It's a great idea. Recap. She's so crazy. We love it. We love it. So Maria, tell people where they can connect with you, how they can find you, how they can work with you.
You can find me on LinkedIn at Maria Ransome, which is my name, or you can find me on Instagram at the Maria Naomi. I don't know if I'm allowed to write comments.
Absolutely. I don't. You go for it. Post the comments. Drop it in the comments. You can do anything.
I'll try. How to make it work. But the Maria Naomi, TheMarianaomi. I'm not getting the option to put it in the comments.
All right. Well, we'll make sure and drop those links in there for you. And Ayana just said she learned so much. She had a great job, ladies. I'm so glad that you were here. This was a lot of fun. Design, one of my favorite things. I love the idea of design. I love how it makes people feel. And again, I always love when you and I get to connect and talk about these things. And you know what you gave the businesses really was a wealth of information that's going to allow them to move their businesses to the next level, right? They will be thinking about their customers, that feeling, right, all the time now. And so I think that's the foundation of the customer journey, because that's what we're really trying to get people to, from that point of being a stranger to that next place of being a customer, a client. So I think, again, you've given them such an important tool, and I'm excited that you were here. I cannot wait. Of course, you have to come back when we do the expert recap, and of course, when we do the reunion show. So Maria, thank you so much for joining us. This was amazing. I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you for having me. I did. I really enjoyed getting to know each business and how I could help them. And then the owners themselves were so lovely. It was a nice experience.
Amazing. And wait, we have to get you, once you talk to Uche, because that's going to be another thing that Uche and his non-for-profit. Again, you know what, let me pop up his URL as well. And, you know, sad Uche could not, you didn't get to meet with him before, but it's going to happen. It's so important for it to happen. Uche, his non-for-profit, the work that they're doing at Rural Watch Africa is just amazing. They are putting together they work with different projects. So different little projects that really is life-changing. So this is going to be, this is one that's going to tug at your heartstrings. And I know, I mean, you've given everything else your all. So I know this one's going to be, you know, when you do it, it's going to be so good. So, and Uche is just, he himself is awesome as well too. So it's really going to be a good setup. So we'll definitely recap that one and find out what you guys do together. So Maria, thank you again so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. I am really excited to work with Uche, actually. So I can't wait for next week. But other than that, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it.
100%, Maria. We love you. Bye. Maria. I can't. I even text you that way.
That is so true.
I do.
Yes. And
I can't help myself.
Yeah.
You bring joy. Have a good night, Maria. Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys, this was awesome. So yep, I see stuff's in the chat. This was so good. So you heard the design talk. You see all that we've been doing with these businesses. So the first week, it was about the branding and the messages. The second week was about target audience and pricing. And this week we focused on design. So right now, these businesses understand exactly what they need to be doing. They understand how to move from that place of brand messaging to that place of design, that look and feel. They understand who their target audience is, right? So there's so many things that they need to think about, but we're moving them through the process one one expert at a time. Just imagine if your business could have these experts, how game changing it could be for your business, right? To really understand what it is to market your business online, to go beyond those likes and follows, right? Because we do get hung up on the likes and the follows. Now, they're important, but there's so much more behind digital marketing. And that is the whole concept of this show here, the top 7 digital marketing trends at 7 p.m., where we get to showcase the talent of all the digital marketing experts that I know personally. These are my friends, okay? So I hang out with some really, really cool people, and we get to bring them to the stage. We get them to work with these businesses and help these businesses achieve their business goals, because that's what we want from all the marketing efforts, right? I actually don't even want to call it digital marketing anymore. I just want to call it marketing, because if we leverage this marketing to achieve our business goals, that's exactly what we want. We want to be able to get to that place of money in the bank through digital marketing, through marketing. So please stay connected to us. Subscribe to our channel. If you are watching us on YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button. Make sure to come back next week, because next week, guess who's the expert? And I will be doing assessments, online assessments with all the businesses. So I will go through their analytics, really understand where they are right now, and give them that base so we can start building their digital marketing plan. After me, we go back to Michelle, who walks them through the sales funnel. And then from there, we build out their digital marketing plan, right? So it's so important to understand the gaps, understand where they are right now, and understand those gaps. So that's exactly what we'll do next week. I cannot wait. It's probably going to be not as much fun as working with Maria today. I know that was a lot of fun. People had a great time. I start digging into the numbers, because the numbers matter. And every activity that we do in digital marketing should be super trackable and relate back to our business goals. So that's where I come in to kind of bring a little bit more focus in that area. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We have made it to the end of the show. Subscribe to stay up to date with us. Again, guys, I am Tamara Montlouis, always excited to be here with you each and every Thursday as we go through this gauntlet with these businesses and really help them get to that place of achieving their business goals. Have a great night. See you next Thursday. Bye.